Yo.
Well. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Here we are.
Yeah, the famous one and the smart one. The Furlough podcast.
This is it.
Yep.
This is, big day.
Listen, it's been a big weekend for me. I feel like shit today because I only got like 4 hours sleep because I had to get up for those cockamamie early, super early NFL and England games that my team was in. And that was a monstrosity of an embarrassment. With some bad play calls and there's nothing more humiliating than losing at the last second of the game to another team kicking like a long field goal. That's just
to a team that hasn't had a win.
Hasn't had a win in 20 games. I think it was their stretch, and
20 games,
and under a coach that couldn't have had more distractions to his team and his life. Like I was like thinking we should whip these people soundly, and he gets fired on the plane ride home. And instead, they say winning is a great deodorant. We gave him a ton of deodorant. You know, like his wife may take him back at this point because of that win.
He did.
He's like, look, honey, I've turned it around. I've turned my life around. I'm no longer gonna fondle college girls in public where I can get caught doing it, and my team's winning. Yeah. Oh God, I'm ready to give up. Like I like make a point to watch these games, to be there, to not be doing anything else, to only get 4 hours sleep like this week. I can't do it anymore. They haven't earned it. I'm just going to casually pay attention to how they're doing from now on. Oh,
yeah, I mean, look, but between, I just told you this, between the Dolphins, the Giants, and the Jets, total combined of 3 wins.
Right.
So,
are the three teams that everyone in
the Breakfast Club.
In the Breakfast Club cheers for.
Right.
And
so
even
we're really not doing too well.
No. I feel like the ghost of Jackie's hanging around or something, mushing everything. Yeah. I mean, this is fucked. I don't know what to do.
Pretty bad.
I was ready to go take a nap, but then you said that you didn't care enough about your team either. So let's just do the podcast now.
Yeah, right. Like, it doesn't even matter at this point.
Oh, my God. I'm just...
So I mean... I think today is you've got a lot more than I probably have.
I'm sure we could start with you though. I think we have enough where we'll call Bobby Tuesday for the kidney deal.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be more well rested and a little more like participatory
attentive
for that. Right.
Right, to the questions.
Yeah.
So I just I know you had a big weekend. So
I mean, bigger than my normal weekends, which are usually...
Right, you actually had to put pants on.
Yes, I had pants that don't fit and that were very uncomfortable all weekend.
Right. You had to put pants on, and you had to drive somewhere, big deal. But we'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just wanted to start off by saying that famousbirthdays.com, let's bring that up once again.
Jesus Christ.
Famousbirthdays.com,
this gotta
which
be...
I am now on.
Yeah.
What? Go ahead, shit on me. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Get it out of your system. Get it out of your system.
You're gonna prove my point. I don't want to give up your surprise.
So, I get on there. It's nice. They put me on the famousbirthdays.com. Beautiful. They think I'm a celebrity.
Just hung up on me. I don't know how that happened, but he just hung up on me. Let's try calling him back.
Please leave your message for 864.
Well, don't want to give out his number. Let's see if he calls me back. Or if I have to... No, let me try him again. Oh, we're live to tape. This is how it's going to go. Or did he hit the do not disturb? I wonder, he probably still bragging about his accomplishments and too busy talking to realize he's not on the phone.
What happened?
I don't know. It just hung up. It was. I don't know if it was you or me. Maybe
it was you because I tried to call you back straight to voicemail 3 times in a row.
Oh, I was trying to call you back and I got straight to voicemail.
Oh, mine didn't say call failed. It just literally I was in the middle of talking and I'm like, wait a second, it's not there anymore.
Yeah, society's breaking down. I think we're gonna have some problems in the future.
Well, no, what I think it is that I was getting to a really good point on how I'm famous, and you were like, fuck this guy, I'm hitting the end button.
Well, when you listen back to this podcast, you'll hear me talking about how you're too busy bragging about how famous you are to realize that the call ended. And
well, so what I was going to say is famousbirthdays.com, they added me, right? Big ad. I was ranked like 150,000 to start off. You know, I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody.
Literally.
I was
truly.
I was number 11 in the 40 and over category.
Oh God.
Most searched, but we've got to change. And I think I called this. I said to you I was cracking the top 10 this weekend.
Yeah, you're aiming for the 10 slot. Right.
So today's update, very important update today. I have cracked from 150,000. I have cracked the top 50,000. I am now 49,862. So I cracked the top 50 overall. Pretty big deal.
Okay.
You don't think so?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying that you being ranked this high obviously proves that this whole website's just a sham. That it's just like it's.
Well, that's not even the bigger news.
Yeah.
That's like a small bit of news. I am now number 5 most searched in the 40 and over category. I
again
not only cracked the top 10,
completely proving my point that this makes.
But
there's no way that this is a legitimate thing, because there's no way, and all the 40 over plus famous people in the world, you are the 5th most searched for birthdays. There's just no way.
Yeah. Not only am I the 5th most searched, I have surpassed Super Lit Mario, who is a comedian who does in London, England, who does a Mario shtick. He thinks he's Mario. He not only am I ahead of him, he doesn't even know the Mario potential I have that I've held back from TikTok.
That you are kind of the wrestler formerly known as Mario.
Right. So this Super Lit Mario, who's number 6 most searched, he doesn't even know.
But see, you're
that
like
number 5 was a Mario.
You're completely reinforcing my point again. That the fact that you're number 5 on a list of famous people ever for any reason, and then you're including one number adjacent to you, some guy named Super Lit Mario. It just tells me that this whole site's fugazi. That this whole site's.
Well, here's the thing: the top 4 all have So we have a woman named Kara. I don't know who she is. She's from Kentucky. 9 million followers.
No, but seriously, shouldn't you
know?
Hold on,
I'm not done. Hold on.
Wait. Shouldn't everyone on the top 10 be like people that ring a bell?
I've never heard of any of them. Ever.
Yeah, this is the most fugazi fucking site.
Now the top 10 of like the real one, yeah, they're all famous TikTokers. But the 40 and over, I never heard of any of them. But you have to think of something. There's famous TikTokers out there over 40 that I follow that have millions of followers. They have not cracked the top 10, but AJ Slambino has. This is a big deal. Big deal.
To you it is, for sure. I am happy that you are pleased with yourself.
I'm very pleased with my progress here on this app. I mean, how can I not be?
I mean, I let you go, because what am I going to say? Just you explaining it is basically its own self-mockery. I don't have to say anything about it. It's ridiculous.
Listen,
the whole thing's ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous that you are in the presence of a famous birthday star, TikTok star, international TikTok star. International.
Oh, well, how lucky am I that you're in my fucking phone? Wow.
Very, very
you're in my
lucky.
Contacts. Oh, every day I'm flipping through going, why can't more of you be famous like my buddy AJ?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was yelling at Earl the other
Yeah.
day that you're slipping down the chart. You got to fucking find something else relevant to do because I can't deal with former NFL players now that I've got you in my fucking
Well,
world.
listen, and let's just say the former NFL player, he's thrown a comment or two out my way on TikTok as well, like
Uh-huh.
giving the people what they want. That's what he said. Like, but he's a fan too. Let's not get it twisted here.
Oh.
The guy may have played in the NFL.
I'm
but
gonna
he's
let
a
him
fan.
know that you just called him a fan.
He's a fanboy, of course.
Oh,
So,
fanboy, that's even worse.
and don't let Billy Fives fool you either, because I bet Billy Fives secretly has TikTok and watches the videos, but he doesn't want anybody to know.
10 minutes and 47 seconds. You had to bring him up.
Because it's the truth. We know that he, deep down, we know the Fives family is a fan of me anyway, so it's not like.
Well,
You know?
yeah, the kids like you more than Billy
Right.
does. That's for sure.
Right. Well, But-
Speaking of Billy, I know you have this big wrestling match with him, November 7th.
Right.
Be there or be square, all that stuff. We'll try and stream it on one of our social medias, probably on TikTok. But I was thinking doing it on Facebook because I think it records it when you do it on Facebook.
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean? So that we would actually
Right.
But I think he's in Facebook jail still because he hasn't popped up
Well,
threatening
we
us.
know he is because, he sent me a very scary text message this week
Yeah, but
directed at you.
he said forward this to Ben because I'm in TikTok jail. I mean, Facebook jail. But I'm like saying I think he's still in it because
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He said, I'm in Facebook jail again. Feel free to post that I think Temple is a rat.
Yeah, we
and
already
he got me locked up. So he's assuming that
he's just being playful. He knows I did.
playful. No.
He knows.
He definitely believes that you Facebook jail.
He knows.
That's what he thinks.
He knows I would never rat him out
He
because I
thinks that.
understand the repercussions of doing such a thing, and because he's like Homeland Security, he would find out if I did it. He'd pick
I
up
feel
the
like there
phone
needs to
and
be an investigation.
did we talk about, or was that after the Friday podcast? Did we talk about the phone call he gave me?
We did not.
So I get a text like, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, something like that. And it's from Billy. And it says, see you November 7th. The usual threatening intimidation thing that he does. And
Right. So are you saying that he intimidated you at 8 minutes and 9 seconds? I think you just called him a bully.
he'd be proud. He would own that. That's not taking a shot at him. This is a badge of honor. I'm basically paying him a compliment right now, and it actually probably knocks time off my sentence. So he calls back like I get the text. So I sent him the what you talking about picture, the Arnold Drummond face, and he calls back like 15 minutes later. He's like, what the fuck are you sending me that picture for? I'm like, what? I was just replying to your text. He's like, I haven't texted you in 3 weeks. And I go and look at, I go and scroll, and I see the date was like 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, what the fuck? I go, well, I got an alert that you had just sent that. Like something got lost in the mail and finally came through. For like the next he's on the phone with me for the next 15 minutes, just continually running me down and threatening me and taking a shot or two at you between breaths, and like I'm like throwing I'm just ducking and weaving and trying to appease him and whatever, and I don't think I made any headway, but he ran me down for a long time and basically threatened my life, and said if I disappear, he'll hunt me down and all this. Yeah, it was a harrowing like 10 minutes. I was like getting anxious, and I was a lot of nervous laughing, and I was like by the time I got
Yeah, well,
and I got off the phone and I was like, I realized I was sweating, and I'm like, I'm damned if I do or damned if I don't. If I hadn't replied to this thing, it would have been a new text, and he would have given me the same phone call for not replying back to him. But instead, by some weird quirk of fate,
right, you were damned if you do or damned if you don't, right there.
Right, catch-22 or
You
whatever you
don't
want.
even
But who? I get a thing, and it's like a new thing in my messages. I think it's. Why wouldn't you think it was like just sent to you? How is? I mean,
right.
How does the world conspire against me with that? So, yeah. So I don't know. Every time I try and like kind of like stay out of it and let you dig your own hole again, I get dragged in with stupid shit. Like the universe is trying to fuck with me or something. Oh God. What else?
Yeah.
What else?
I feel like. Well, no, let's not change the subject yet.
Oh, okay. You want to keep talking about Billy? Go ahead. I know this is just not going to be no.
What size shirt do you wear again? I'm getting you a custom made outfit. It looks like a zebra outfit. Very nice.
Let me tell you something. I know for a fact you're not wasting $20 on a shirt for me.
No, I'm not.
And also more for a fact that because you're not even going to get new gear for yourself. Then why would you even bother with me?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I figured, we know the booker over there, so.
What are you going to do? Are you going to wrestle in just gray sweats? What are you going to do? You have no gear.
So I have an idea.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's not good at all. I'm trying to. My thought is that I'll get like some gear made, but then I thought about it, and you know what? I feel like I have to wrestle in my British tank top for my people in the UK who support and love me. I feel like I have to.
Okay.
Now, pants wise, I don't know. It's going to be a crapshoot that day. We'll see.
Jesus,
dude.
I
wanted to get gear made, but then I'm like, for what? Like, why am I getting gear made?
Because you were saying this was going to be the beginning of some kind of new run for you, I thought.
Right. Well, which I do have some information on that as well.
Oh, you booked another date?
I have not yet, but it looks like I will be getting my my physical for my South Carolina wrestling license. But I'm gonna scoop dog food. Don't get all upset. Anyway.
Well, you just letting me know ahead of time doesn't change the irritation.
The dog was gonna bark, so I figured let me just get her food so she shuts up.
Right.
Anyway, I spoke to Josh Powers last night for about over an hour.
Oh, look at that
on the phone, and just kind of telling me what their plans are for Pro Wrestling Turbo and this and that. And looks like we've got a little angle booked for next year, which is awesome. We will. They have a show coming up in like a week, but I can't take part in the show because I won't even be back into town in time. But we're gonna have some plans. We had a little storyline planned out.
All right.
For 2022, so it should be good.
Making big moves in the new year.
Right. And I figure if I'm wrestling, with Powers, and we're gonna do a little tagging. And it's going to be a short stint, but I figure tag matches I can, I don't really have to work as hard since he's way younger than me.
Stand on the outside and tag in for the pin. Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Right. Exactly.
Let him do our work.
We got a nice little storyline planned out, so it'll be fun. It'll be good. I'm excited because he got me excited because I started. Well, wrestling for me is I don't really give a shit about taking a bump, or I like the crowd. I like the thought process, like the pre-wrestling shit. I like thinking about the storylines and all that. So we came up and I started to visualize how it would plan out, how it would pan out that night, the night I come back. And so we got a nice little plan. I'm very excited. Got my brain going a little bit. So
we should.
I'm pumped.
We should make you a new Breakfast Club shirt for those shows that says on the front, "I'm just here for the rats."
Jesus, you can't do that anymore.
No bumps.
No, you can't. I'm not trying to get canceled. No, we're not doing that. No, can't do that anymore. It's like You can't even use that word anymore. You're gonna have to bleep it out now.
There's no way Listen, I'm the one that said it.
No, there's
I'll
no
take
way.
the heat.
But no, like seriously, you like. I'm excited. There's some good stuff planned. Also, friend of the Breakfast Club, Mark James, he returned to wrestling last night as well. Another old time 40-year-older. He had a match last night, and we talked about. I don't want to work him because again, we're two 40-year-old guys. So we're like, hey, if we can get booked somewhere to tag, one just even if it's one show, me and him, just because it's something I've known him since 2007 or something like that. I think it would be cool if we got to tag one show. So we're trying to plan that as well. It'll be good. And he's got a podcast now too. So yeah, him and his wife. So it's exciting stuff. But yeah, we'll see. I think this is going to be 2022. One more run. I got one more left in me.
Okay,
I think I got a match with Johnny left. I feel like I need one more with Johnny Vandal.
I think we're gonna have Breakfast Club Championship Wrestling as well.
Could happen, right?
Next year,
and
you might need to save one of your bumps for that.
Listen, if I can get a little steam under me in 2022. Hey, AEW books anybody for dark matches. Maybe I can get a spot. Just one. I just need one night. I don't care if Wardlow has to punch me in my face. One spot. I
feel like you want the ability to have that card in your back pocket to go every time someone else we know gets on there and brags about it, to go, big deal, even I wrestled there.
It's true. And I'm an international superstar, so
right.
they're going to be like a bigger play.
They're going to be like, why did our numbers for a YouTube wrestling show dramatically spike this week in the UK?
In the UK, yeah. Like nobody ever watches in the UK. Yeah.
Trace it back to you and bring you back.
Right. And I think the UK play, I can. I got to start putting that into play a little bit with some of these places. I think it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
All right. Sure. Fair enough.
Yeah. So, what do you got? That's all I got. I just wanted to brag how I'm famous. In my own head.
I went 4 hours up and 4 hours back to a 4-hour wedding yesterday. So,
solid.
I rode up with Daddy Daycare, our pal Marco, our old podcast partner, who's been on an unpaid maternity leave, and oh my God, what
unpaid maternity leave? We're never getting them back. I
gotta sneak my shots in wherever I can. Yeah. So there's a couple of stories that were a couple of overlapping stories here. The first is that I decided for some weird reason to take a whole bottle of magnesium citrate the night before.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm starting this whole new diet. I'm gonna get in shape. I'm gonna get serious about it. And this is the stuff that they tell you to take before you go in for a colonoscopy. So this you take it, and within an hour, usually to an hour and a half, your body is immediately starting to just eject everything out of it. And I think I took it too late in the day. I took it at 8:30 at night, and I'm like, I got to be on the road at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning the next day. I don't know if this is all gonna have cleared my system in the meantime. And so what that stuff does is it stops your
ass out.
Well, I'm trying to give a more of a clinical term. It something in it forces your intestines to no longer absorb water. So you drink and it ends up flushing everything through you. So any lingering meals, old bubble gum, anything that's stuck in your digestive system is shooting out. And so then the more you drink fluids, the more you're flushing out, to the point where you start, if you're all cleaned out, you just start shooting clear water out your butthole by the end of the thing. So yeah, I'm up to like, again, I only got like 3 hours sleep that night because I'm up all night having to keep running to the bathroom. It was a terrible decision. I don't even know why I did it. I should have done it earlier in the day or just another time. But I felt like I was just like full of food and bloated, and I was like, I gotta ride up to this thing. I gotta wear dress pants and belts and all kinds of clothes that don't fit as it is. Let's lean it down a little bit as best as I can. And so, in the morning again.
And not for nothing though. I mean, you act like you make good decisions all the time. You really don't make a lot of good decisions. So.
Well,
let's just say that
it was a good decision because it's a story for the podcast now.
Right. That's about it. Yeah.
So yeah, all night, with you're with like one or two touch and go moments where it's like, if I would have been like a step slower running to the bathroom, there'd have been a problem somewhere along the way. So I wake up in the morning and my stomach's still gurgling, and I chug a whole glass of water. And 15 minutes later, that water, that whole glass is pretty much just shooting out of me. I'm like, this might not be good. So I was riding up with Marco and his wife and their baby, which is like the newborn, which is like, I don't know, 2-3 months old. I can't even keep track at this point.
Right.
I'm like thinking to myself, maybe if I don't drink anything, it won't trigger anything. So I was like sipping on like an energy drink, for the whole 4 hours up. Now let me tell you something. That fucking baby and those two
here we go.
Those two neurotic first-time parents in this new millennium are just absolutely ridiculous. Every time the baby even opened its eyes and even looked cranky, they're like, should we stop the car? Do we need to stop? Or is it okay? Can we keep going? We had to stop twice on the way up to like change the baby or feed it or whatever. It's fine. It didn't cry that much. But it was ridiculous. And Marco's at the point, he's like, I told him, dude, I told him while we were at the way, I'm like, yeah, there's plenty to talk about you on the podcast. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm normal. I go, no. I said, no. And I quote on the way up, all of a sudden, he's like, because I'm in the front and she's in the back of the baby because of the baby seat and stuff. He like at one point he's driving down the highway and he's like, can you move the mirror? And I'm like, think he's talking to me. And I look over at my mirror and I point. And he's like, no. And then he says it again to her. Can you move the mirror? And I'm like, what fucking mirror's in the back seat of the car?
Right.
And then he follows it up with, I want to be able to see my baby. There was like a mirror on the fucking
on the baby seat. Yeah, I know the gimmick. Yeah.
It's like, I understand if like you're driving and you're not in the backseat with the baby and you want to keep an eye on the baby, but she's back there with the baby and he couldn't go the whole car ride without seeing his child's face. I was just like, man. I just like put my face in my hand because I knew that this was we were just on the way up, let alone 4 hours there and then 4 hours back. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a long trip. This is gonna be. I can't start laying into them now. And you and I are from the, I would say the old school generation of they'll be fine, just crack a window kind of deal.
Yeah, right.
And these two were like and it was driving me nuts because he's making good time. We would have been up there in like fucking just over 3 hours, and instead it takes like It takes like another hour because we're stopping, and I'm like, holy shit. So yeah, we get up there, and then you just watch them at the wedding, and it's like it's just like nonstop with the two of them, and discussing strategy with the baby, and I'm like, oh my god,
discussing strategy,
and like they're standing over the babies in the stroller, and they're looking down at it. He's got his hands on his hips, like you're looking at a fucking car engine that won't start, and she's and seriously, on the way up, the baby started crying for like, I would say like 2 minutes. We were already pulling off to like hit a Wawa and to change it or feed it or whatever. It was only 2 minutes, and you could hear her in the back. Natalia just like getting all anxious because the baby was crying, And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, come on.
This is great.
And so then we're at the wedding, and we left early because we knew we were going to be making these stops and all this shit. And plus,
Right.
when you're doing a 4-hour drive, you want to account for like if there's an accident or something or just anything.
Right, and you got somewhere to be, right? It's not
Right.
like you're just.
But we ended up getting at the wedding venue like an hour early. We were there before the bride and groom. We were there before everyone. We get to this place. It's a giant it's like the whole block is like this building, and there's like a parking garage and a hotel and there's like then this whole like 3-level thing with like a downstairs cantina with tacos, and then there's like and then there's like event stuff on the second floor where it's like that's where the wedding is and that's where the bar is and all that stuff. And but you're riding around the block 3 times because it only gives you the address, but you can't see. There's no signage or anything for where we're looking for. Not even like a cluster of balloons like that you would have on a mailbox for a child's birthday.
Like, wedding this way or something.
Or like a garage sale sign saying, wedding with a arrow pointing.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing. Right.
So, and as we're circling the block for the second time, all of a sudden, my stomach is like, all right, we're going to shit right now. And I usually, when I gotta go, I don't have to do this, but I literally had to panic, like clench, and like start doing some birthing breathing of my own. And then we circle the block again, and it hits me almost in the same spot when we're circling. And I like
because now it's teasing you because you're like you think you're gonna park, but you're not ready to park yet.
Right.
Is that what? Right. So, and your stomach knows that shit.
And so I'm like Marco, I don't care where we fucking park, but we got to park somewhere because I gotta hover my ass over a bowl really fucking soon. So then what happens is like sometimes you put it off and then your body forgets you even had to go.
Right.
And so then we're in the parking garage and I'm like thinking like oh, there's nobody in this parking garage right now, and instead of me like dragging like clothes into like the building and then changing and then dragging clothes back out to the car, let me just change in the parking lot. So as I'm changing in the parking lot, it's quick change, pants off, pants on, shirt off, shirt on. It hits me.
Now, what are you wearing? Like a suit?
Remnants, like dress slacks and a nice shirt. I wasn't gonna wear a jacket, A, because I probably don't have one that fits right now. But B, it's like Florida summertime still, technically.
I was going to say, so everybody has to understand it's absolutely humid.
It's like 70% humid, 80% humidity, and it's like, and the temperature's like the high 80s,
Right.
So you're like, you can't not sweat. And so I'm like thinking like, I just wanted to find air conditioning so I'm not sweating through my shirt already. But the fact that I had to shit so bad had me flop sweating anyways.
Right, especially, I'm eating cheese, by the way. Especially in Florida, like, I don't think people understand. When you have to shit in that humidity, it makes it 10 times fucking worse, right?
Right. And so we hit the elevator, we go down, we're walking around the block, we can't find where this thing is. We finally asked like one of the bars down there, and they're like, oh, you go to the other bar, they know. And then we go to the other bar, and then they're like, yeah, go up the elevator right here, and yada yada. So we get up there and we go into the room, and literally it's just people setting up the room, the chairs and the photographer setting up the lights and everything like that. And then I remember I have to go to the bathroom again, and they say, oh, the men's room's out by the bar. So the bar is outside, open air, and the bathroom is like supposed to be like is off of that. And it's like, so theoretically has air conditioning, but because it's out kind of in that area, and every time you open the door, it's opening to the humidity and everything, that it was just hot in the bathroom. So you're sitting there, and there's nothing worse than being uncomfortable when you're taking it, when you're, taking one of these can't wait any longer shits. So I'm sitting there just drenching in sweat because there's no AC in there, and the impending doom that I've been fighting off for the last like 20 minutes has been like putting my body in a complete state of stress and pressure and just I was flop sweating anyways from that. So what a nightmare. And so I get back. I finally resolve my issues, and I go back into where it's kind of really cold in the air conditioning. I look down at my shirt, and my whole shirt has like sweat spots on it. So I'm like literally like doing the thing where you tug at the front of your shirt to kind of fan yourself a little bit,
right,
like billow it out. And I'm just like, I'm looking up to see where the air conditioning vents are to try and figure out where it can blow directly on me for 5 or 10 minutes. And I eventually dried out. That was the only luck of getting there an hour early, was that I was able to dry out before people showed up. Because I looked like I just, I was outside doing construction work or something for 5 minutes.
And then, you got swamp ass and there's so much more that goes into that.
Well, luckily, because I had I had emptied myself last night that I was just shooting water out my butt. So it wasn't like my back end was a disaster. It was just water flying out of me. So, the trick is also to, in a public bathroom, even though that toilet paper's, flimsy on a dry day, run some under some water and try and wash yourself a little bit. Without it crumbling and your fingers poking through and touching your butthole. Because that'll happen too. So the wedding was fun, and I haven't seen.
It was nice.
I haven't seen him in a long time. The groom, who just to throw a little funny shot in, is one of your Eskimo brothers.
This is true. Right. Not to the bride though.
Right. No. For sure.
Let's make that clear.
Yeah. Right. But one of your Eskimo brothers. So the funny thing was that we know him. I know, Marco and I know him from the wrestling days, and from our cosplay wrestling stuff we used to do at conventions. So we were wondering on the way up. We were like, who else from that circle from those days? Ask you that.
Who else was going to be there?
Did he invite? And we were scratching our heads because we know him that he basically had over the years, was sick of all these people, and having run his own promotion, everyone gave him a goddamn headache, and no one was his real friend, and whatever. They just wanted to use him for stuff. That we both guessed that this guy Josh would be one person, and we couldn't think of anyone else. So when we get there, and people start showing up. Sure enough, Josh comes in, and we're talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. Who else he invited? Nobody else.
Really?
Yep. Well, his brother-in-law is his old tag team partner. So
I didn't know that.
He sort of qualifies, but technically you have to invite your brother-in-law anyways. So I kind of made that joke.
Yeah, it doesn't really count.
I was like, you had to be here. You don't count. And so I told Marco, I said, the only two guys he really invited were the ones that are 4 hours away. and I said, it was I felt like I won last man standing, when you all have your hand on the truck, and who has their hand on the truck the longest. And then Marco started with a lot of we stuff. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm going to explain why me being invited is way more of an acknowledgement than you being invited. And he gave me a funny look, and I said, you invited him to your wedding. So there's a reciprocal nature to that. Almost an obligation if you guys haven't created real heat, that he kind of has to feel like he has to have you at his wedding, unless there was a falling out. I said, I never invited him to any wedding. He just had to have me at his wedding. So I felt like I was the number one winner of the day. By the way, that the dude Josh used to be tag partners with Jude. You know Jude, and and his wife is Jude's ex-girlfriend. It's like everything. Awkward. Everything is Eskimo brothers and
right.
and gossip stories in the wrestling business.
I mean, that is the wrestling business, though.
Everyone's literally what it was 1 degree removed from Kevin Bacon in the wrestling business. It's not even 6 degrees, not even 3 degrees. So
Right.
yeah. So then,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So then the wedding's fine, and I know you like messaged me, "What are you eating at the wedding?" And I'm like, funny enough, it was like pork and chicken, clean, no breading, no sugary stuff on it or whatever, and asparagus. So I like basically had a keto meal at his fucking wedding. I just didn't eat the.
But you drank, right?
I didn't have the potatoes. I didn't have the bread, and I didn't have the wedding cake. Yeah, I drank, but I had vodka sodas.
Right, which is okay.
Yeah, so zero everything. So, but I did have a Wawa bowl on the way up.
Yeah, but that's good, right?
Yeah, it was like basically a salad, with some like cold cuts in it. So
yeah,
I ate as good as I could for it, and because there's nothing like a wedding is like the perfect excuse to break a diet. Like,
right.
So,
cake and shit.
Right,
yeah.
or everyone's buying shots of some sugary bullshit drink or whatever. So yeah. So then.
Right.
So then we were like, originally, like a couple weeks ago, Marco was like thinking of staying up there, and I'm like thinking like, listen, I'm happy to like ride with you, and we could split the costs of like gas and whatever.
Yeah.
And why would we both go separately? We live like literally, five seconds from each other. Why wouldn't we all carpool up?
Right.
And back, but if you're staying over, and now I'm rethinking things. Now I'm thinking like maybe I should just fly up and Uber over to the fucking event and Uber back and fly back, because I don't want to stay over, especially since like, what am I going to get my own hotel room for $200 a night, like for a wedding?
No, fuck that.
And then he's like, well, you could stay in our room, and I'm like thinking, yeah, that's going to be fantastic with a baby that wakes up every like hour, needing to take a fucking shit or screaming for titty in her mouth or whatever. It's like no, that ain't happening. So I was stressing that, and then like somewhere along the way he made the executive decision like, oh no, we're just gonna go up and back. I think they were worried about the baby having to be in a car that long.
Well, I mean, it's very tough, right?
Well, those concerns started to ring true on the second half of the ride home, where the baby was like nonstop screaming, and they stopped and they fucking did their thing, and the baby calmed down, and they drove for like another half an hour, and then the baby like lit up like a Christmas tree again. And we were like about 40 minutes from home, maybe 30 minutes from home, and Marco made the executive's decision to stop again to see if they could like quell this nonsense, figure out what's got the baby all in a bunch and whatever. And so 20 minutes in like a McDonald's parking lot, I'm just sitting there waiting. And the baby chills out, and then the second the car starts moving, screaming nonstop again. And I'm like thinking, like, there was no reason to stop if we couldn't accomplish something. We just added 20 minutes to the drive home, It was like,
I mean, rookie parents. Like me, I would have just kept driving.
Right.
You got to give but plus she's in the back of the car. She should have been able to,
Well, if you've fed the baby recently, if the diaper's clean, and like there's no like strap pinching off circulation to like an arm or something in the baby's seat.
Right. We should be good to go.
Then the baby just needs to cry it out, because there's nothing to address here. I mean, I understand like them being hesitant to take a baby out of a baby seat and rock it in their arms while we're driving, going 70 miles an hour on the highway. But again, I was raised in the old school days where I'm sure that's what my parents did with me all the time. I probably,
of course, yeah.
I probably barely spent time in a child's seat, when they were driving somewhere. I chuckled to myself, and I almost told Marco it, but I didn't think he'd appreciate it in the moment. Was that I was picturing this whole scenario, but on a plane. And them not being able to get the baby to stop crying. And, like, you have one of those, a couple of shitty passengers that are, like, making comments under their breath or yell, or actually, in this day and age, probably just yelling out loud at him, like, something fucking shitty. And it's like, you have no control over the kid. And it's like, you got to travel. What are you going to do? The baby's got to come with you. And I could have literally seen Marco blow his top at someone and getting fucking the plane landed early and him getting thrown off.
He's on a watch list
Because
like,
he's
he can't ever
trying
fly again.
because he's trying to get the baby to quiet down, and he's so stressed over that, and then people start giving him shit, and he's got no time for it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I got home at like fucking 1:30 last night, and then of course I couldn't go right to. You're sitting in a car trying to sleep, but you can't really sleep, and then you get home and you're just wide the fuck awake for some reason. So I was like, I watch TV for 2 hours, so I was tired again, and then I'm like realize what time it is. I'm like, God damn it, I got to be up at 9 o'clock in the morning for fucking London football time. Fucking bullshit. It was just bad. It was
a waste of your time.
It was bad. Yeah. I should never have woken up for it. I did wake up and I went to Publix, and I was looking for something to eat. And I walked by the seafood window, and I saw that the scallops were like $5 off, $5 cheaper a pound. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's a good deal. So I bought them, and then I got home and like, what am I going to do? I'm going to eat scallops for breakfast? And I'm like, I shrugged, and at halftime I cooked a pound of scallops.
I saw the picture, yeah.
I cooked a whole pound of scallops and ate them for breakfast on a Sunday morning.
While watching football.
At like 10:30 in the morning, I'm cooking scallops and eating them while watching bad Miami Dolphins football in London. What a collision of fucking circumstances that is. Yeah. So it was like the wedding was great and the wedding was fun, and I like those guys. I like Mark, the guy that got married. I really like Mark a lot. So I was like glad I got to see him. Here's a funny thing. I had never met his wife because it's not like he
4 hours away. Right.
Well, it's that and the pandemic and whatever else is going on, but he's been dating her for a couple of years. So right. So I go up to her, I go, hey, I'm Ben, Mark's friend from the wrestling, and she's like, oh, I know you, Ben. And she kind of gives me this funny look, like Mark's been telling her the wrong stories about me or something.
Right. And you're like, what do you know?
And I'm like, well, what's he been telling you about me? And she's like, oh, don't you worry. And then she kind of walked away.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
The only other thing was the man, for it being a non-religious wedding, like not an ounce of religion in it. The dude that was running the wedding went way too long. He was like really? Almost like he had created his own Wikipedia page of the two of them and was reciting everything, the whole circumstances of events. And it was weird.
He didn't stick to his time.
No, he ran over time by a lot. And two things really bugged me. One was that I don't know. I assume Mark signed off on everything he was going to say, but it seemed weird. Like, I mean, I guess in this day and age, there's no stigma to marrying someone you first met on a dating app. But it seemed like that the guy that was telling the wedding didn't quite understand all the nuances of dating apps and reiterated it a couple of times in telling of this whole narrative that he was doing while he was doing the wedding, to the point where he even mentioned swiping right. And I'm thinking, like, the swipe,
oh my God.
I'm like thinking the swiping thing is more of like a let's fuck for the night kind of app, not a I met my soulmate and now we're married kind of dating app. And it just,
oh my God,
it was a little cringy for me. But if they were cool with it, whatever, he was kind of being jokey and people were laughing to some of it. And the other thing was that it was like a thing where he was talking and that they both showed up and that they were so similar that they even drove the same car in the same color, which I guess was a fact, like a Ford something, silver, whatever. And I was, and after he talked about their first date and whatever, and they go their separate ways, I got so mad because he blew the layup punchline he was setting up through that whole thing. Which would
he blew the joke.
Which would have been, he's being jokey, but then he blows the biggest joke opportunity in the fucking thing, where you would say, and after they parted ways and were driving home for 5 minutes, both of them simultaneously said, "This isn't my car."
Oh,
right? That's funny, right? That's
So right.
he blew it, and I went to him and I explained to him how badly he blew it, and he had to admit that I was right and that he fucking blew it.
You went up to him and told him this?
Yeah, at the fucking at the after the that hour of cocktails and
Yeah.
Yeah, I went up to him like, man, I just gotta tell you, man, you missed a layup of a joke. I didn't use the word blew it. I kind of was diplomatic about it. I didn't want to the guy did a fine job for what he did. He didn't stutter. He was well spoken. He was entertaining.
I can't believe you went up to him and get what a
well, listen, notes.
What a dick.
Notes for next time. No, but it was like a friendly conversation. He didn't have he with me. It wasn't like I was criticizing his work. I said I just feel like you missed a layup on that joke, man. And explained it to me. He's like, yeah, you're right. He laughed and he said, you're right. I didn't even think of that. But that would have gone over well. So I didn't go up to him and like run him down or deduct from his check because
the guy just got done with a nice ceremony, and you're like, listen.
Yeah, I know,
really
and it's high pressure public speaking in front of a bunch of strangers. I get it.
Right.
I'm just
and you
saying.
had to give him a little shot.
I'm just saying.
Just throw it in there.
It wasn't like he wasn't reading from a tablet. He could have had the joke written down there. That's all I'm saying.
Man, what a dick.
I don't think I was being a dick. I think I was just otherwise I would have had no reason to talk to him. So at least I got to meet he got to meet me.
He got to meet oh wow. He's never gonna forget this too. He's gonna be like he probably went over and was like a fucking dickhead standing over there that just took a shot at me, told me I missed a joke. And his wife, the new wife, was probably like, oh, did you hear the stories I heard about that
guy? I think Mark had played some of my old Snapchats for her. I have a feeling that might have been.
He was listening to him one day, and she's like, "What's that?" And he was like, "Well, he's coming to the wedding."
Let me tell you about my friend Ben.
And she was probably like, "Is he invited?" He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I thought about getting really drunk, but I felt like they had enough with their hands full with one child shit in their pants. They didn't need a second one in the car. That had to have his diaper checked every half an hour.
Oh my god.
Also, I figured like if I was being super considerate and doing the thing where like, well, if it's late at night and we're driving home, if he needs someone else to take over driving, I should probably not be three sheets to the wind drunk.
Right. Passed out in the front seat. Like,
right. Yeah. So that was the wedding. And then I get home and, like I said, here we are today. And that's why I think my voice sounds like shit because I feel like I'm coming down with it. You know, when you're, when you haven't gotten enough sleep for like 2 or 3 days in a row.
Yeah, your voice kind of loses a little bit.
You start feeling sick and run down and heavy eyes and a sore throat. I got all of that. I'm going to have some makeup sleep here soon.
Yeah, you're a mess.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, can't go like the old days. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I can't either. No, even if I don't even get enough sleep without drinking, I like anything. Like it doesn't even matter.
Right.
I can eat a whole pizza and I need a day to recover now.
This is true. I see you're right on track for your 40 and 40 with your pizza intake and your candy intake. Yeah, steady as ever.
I just I just know that I can hang with him. It doesn't matter. We're just gonna punch and kick. I can punch and kick fat. There's a lot of fat punchers. I watched Tank Abbott in WCW. That guy's stomach was full of beer.
Yeah.
He somehow managed to wrestle.
Yeah. Yeah. He wasn't as fat as you are.
Yeah.
I understand that at some point you're looking at this short deadline and going, if I'm 40 pounds overweight or 50 pounds overweight, what's the fucking difference?
But it's true at this point. Does it really matter?
One, I'm miserable for the next 2 weeks, and one, I'm happy. That's about it. The results are going to be
True.
pretty much the same, and the clothes are
Results
pretty
are the
much going to
same.
fit the same, and whatever else.
Right.
All right.
There's no doubt.
And Billy's going to be pissed off at my lack of progress either way. So.
Right. Either way, I'm dead. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So.
You got anything else today,
Yeah.
or you want to?
I got nothing else. I'm hungry.
All right. This was. Well, you had some cheese. We heard that. You know, I figured that would hold you over.
I shoved a piece of provolone in there while you were,
I apologize. You wanted to hear this story, so it's a Ben Heavy podcast today. But
Well, no, it was a good story. I think it needed to be told.
yeah, I mean, like I said, there was a lot going on between my bowels and the baby, and
I've done nothing this weekend, so
that's good. I'm happy to carry the load. Usually,
I mean the Giants are getting hammered, by the way. So
Are they?
It's like 20-3.
Really. That's wow. Well,
Yeah.
you know, at least the Dolphins kind of went punch for punch till the end there.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I'm gonna go film some TikToks. I gotta finish my
You got to do
25% off sale TikTok.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Good.
So-
Good call. I forgot to do business at
Oh,
the
I know.
beginning of this podcast. That we're blowing out the old merchandise before we do the new designs. So if you want anything that we have in stock right now at the store at brizzcliz.com, links are everywhere, so you'll be able to find them.
Everywhere.
That we've got T-shirts of our original logo and our Japanese logo, tank tops of both. We have hoodies of the original logo, and we have hats. And everything's 25% off. We've had some brisk business where we're actually out of a size or two of an item or two. So again, a warning that if you are kind of on the fence or something, you might want to make your move before you have to buy a size smaller or bigger because we're out of your size.
Yeah.
But yeah, once these are
Agree.
gone, they're gone, and we probably won't run these designs again because we like to stay fresh and creative here at the Breakfast Club.
Well, I'm gonna eat something and then go make this video.
Make that video. Maybe plug the podcast a little bit too, buddy.
I got this. Relax.
Go on. I know. You're not. you
Relax.
always
You
say that,
relax
and then
over
there's nothing. All right. So all right, and then I promise everyone that on the next episode we will be talking to Bobby Rogers, and he's going to tell us the story of when he put his kidney up for sale on eBay and how it was a policy-changing event for eBay and a national, maybe international news story for a cycle or two back in the day that you may even remember. So this man is a groundbreaking trendsetter in many ways.
This is true.
Yes. So all right, I think that's it. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.